One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice.
Welcome to the One Mic, One Voice show, building the collective conscious, a show that is created to give space where your voice, ideas, and informed opinions can be heard, appreciated, and yea, debated. I am Michael Eric Owen.
And I'm DT, and we are back in this thing once again.
Man,
One Mic, One Voice show. You know, what's funny is that before the show started, Mike was actually challenging me to a sing-off.
Oh, we don't want to go there.
Okay, leave it for the after party?
Yeah, we're going to leave it for the after party. After party, we're going to be
I was
singing.
winning, by the way, just to let everybody know.
I think I shattered a couple glasses, though, in here, you know.
Mike got some range, though. Don't let the smooth voice fool you. He can get up there. I mean, he was...
Was I up there? And, you know, I'm excited about today's show because there is so much going on around our world. There's so much going on in the United States. It seems like when it can't get any crazier, it absolutely does.
Absolutely does.
And today's show is titled, Is War the Answer? Is War the Answer? And, I mean, it's, you know, since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Conflict, right?
Almost been like a requirement.
It's like it's in our DNA, right? To you know, the baby's born to go to school, even on the micro level.
I mean, even in the animal kingdom, you know, you see fighting and wars, and you know, it's like, man, this is a part of us. Right?
But is it ever the answer? And you know, I find it just ironic that some of these folks, and we're going to focus in right now on what the political, I guess, correct term is the alt-right, but we know it as a white supremacist movement, the white hate movement. There's nothing soft about this movement.
These people have modeled themselves after Nazis.
They have, yeah.
So, I mean, if that tells you anything about
absolutely,
who they are.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of this has been infused into this movement when you got neo-Nazism in the likes, in the tradition of the KKK.
Hell, Trump.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that, right, in the tradition of Hitler, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you have this Richard Spencer, which has become the face, right? The architect of this 21st century movement. And they were in like staunch supporters for 45. I mean, they saw this as a second coming, right? right. The slogan, Make America Great Again. They saw this as the prophecy being fulfilled for the white nationalistic movement. And folks, if you haven't, we've talked about white nationalism. You can go back and go through the archives and you can look at the shows that we've already done on it.
There's a show called White Nationalism.
Right. Matter of fact, it was part 1, 2, and 3. I think we did 3 parts on it, right?
So if you're looking for that one in particular, you can go right to it.
You can go right to it. But they held this protest in front of the White House.
Ouch.
Like and this is what's so funny. 45 is never at the White House.
Oh, really?
He's at Mar-a-Lago, so he's never at the White House. I mean, we should do a show on how do you become the president of the United States, right? And then just don't stay in the
Capitol.
Capitol.
He wasn't staying there.
His wife doesn't stay in the Capitol. She's in New York. I mean, he's at his man. He is running the country.
Do they think the Obamas brought roaches or something?
Something
One of them crazy ideas.
I guess, you know, I don't want to sleep in a place where black folks have been at. I don't know what the mentality is, but I mean, this guy is running our country from a golfing resort.
Man, that must be nice.
I mean, I mean,
Could you imagine?
some of them, and we're going to get into the decisions that he made, but this idea that you can somehow make these life and death decisions in a resort somewhere. Okay. Again, so we have this protest that takes place.
You got the presidency on autopilot.
Anywhere we
Cruise
can go,
control.
where we can go, we just might as well do it. You take it. I thought the seat of government was in Washington, but I guess now it's at his resort. But you have this protest. Now this group, right, that's got an issue with their prophet, got an issue with their savior, right? Why do they have an issue? Well, I don't think the Syrian people are actually white. Okay. So it begs the question. So what if they were coming to, say, the Anglo-Saxon Europeans defense? Would that be okay? Or is it just, I just don't get it, man. I just don't. I mean, how far does hate go?
Oh, to the extreme.
To every four corners.
If
Huh?
you can, I mean, there are places in your mind that hate gets gone and you haven't been able to get there, but it's happening every day, every second.
And I'm not saying that I agree with what 45 did, and we're going to get into that, because I think if you following us on Patreon account, you got the show notes, the outline. There's a map there, and we're going to be talking about the location of Syria and how vital that region is, and just how I would say explosive being connected.
Wow,
man, being connected with these neighboring nations. We're going to talk about that.
So at this protest, the folks were yelling out, "We want walls, not war."
I know we want
Right.
walls, not
Like,
war.
and it's still, to me, that's like, I want a conflict, but not to the extreme. I
Yeah.
don't want it to go very far, but I do want a problem.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. I
but
do,
and even thinking about that, though, the war has been going on, even since Obama's been in the presidency
absolutely.
with Syria.
We've been bombing them since 2014.
So, what do you really want?
It's to me, it's these are when it suits their purpose, right? When
and then the fight is so contradicting. Like the guy changed his Twitter handle with the Syrian flag in it.
Absolutely.
We have problems right here on American soil that are not being resolved and are not being addressed in a swift manner. And yet we take up arms and we go to bat for other countries when we still have our own issues to deal with here. And it's not like, people are changing their Twitter handles to Black Lives Matter or, some of the other things that we face daily.
Yeah, absolutely. And when folks, we got to take a break. We're going to pay some bills. But when we we ban Syrian refugees from coming in. Okay, we don't care about you enough to let you in, but we care about enough to bomb the country in which you reside. I think there's a problem with that.
I seen a post somebody made, like, America bombed Syria for bombing Syria to teach Syria a lesson about bombing Syria.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, right? Doesn't make any sense. Folks, hang in there with us. Is war the answer is what we're dealing with today. We have a special guest. We're going to pause from the deepness of our conversation just for a minute, but we have Tiffany Nicole, the artist, the activist, coming in just a bit. Folks, hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tiffany Hill, host of Authentic Conversations, a weekly motivational podcast where we discuss matters such as self-worth, relationships, parenting, professional development, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. You can find me on Facebook at Authentic Conversations by Tiffany Hill, on social media at @th_authentic, and you can also subscribe to Authentic Conversations on iTunes and Podbeans, and the show is also available on blackenstudios.com. I look forward to connecting with you, and remember, to live authentically is the ultimate form of happiness.
This is Dr. Laura Gillot, and when I listen to podcasts, I always listen to the One Mic, One Voice show.
Welcome back. Hey, it's again, is war the answer? And this
is good for absolutely
nothing. This BBC report that I want to just take a moment to just cite some things from it, and this is in reference to 45's attack in Syria, as it relates to Assad's, I guess, alleged, poisoning of his own people. Now, let me just say this. I'm not an apologist for Assad. So I think he's, from what I've read and heard, he's a pretty bad dude. He's a dictator, right? I don't get down with dictators, right? You know what I mean? I like to have some freedom and some say-so I don't get down with them. But if you're going to bomb another country, you need to have some proof. I mean, we've seen this before, right? He's got weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch. We got to go in there. What we find, DT?
Nothing.
We didn't find like a magic blow up pen or something.
We found a watch and a wine bottle opener.
Right. So I'm saying, before we go in and kill people, take the lives of innocent kids, I think we do need to pass a test. I think it does need to be under scrutiny. That's why Congress is to declare war. That's why Congress has a role in this. And this person in his golfing resort and his little situation room, in the mobile situation room, man, ordered this strike, man. And the BBC talks about on Saturday in Syria's capital, Damascus, and around the world, people protested against the airstrike, insisting there should be no U.S. war against Syria.
At least 6 people are reported to have been killed in the missile strikes in the early hours of Friday. The strikes followed Wednesday's suspected chemical attack on the rebel held down of Khan Shaykhun, in which 89 people are reported to have died.
Okay, now let's back up here. At least 6 people are reported to have been killed in the missile strike. Okay, Americans, we're responsible for what our country does. I mean, this idea that, it was 45 and it was his decision. We are citizens of this country. We vote people into office, do we not? Okay. They're supposed to be representative of the voice of the people, right? Right. So we sanction what is being done by our government. Am I right or wrong? We're in a democracy, right? Well, we're really in a republic, but that's a whole nother conversation to have. But don't we sanction this though? Mm-hmm. I mean, should we feel any obligation to those 6 people that died? Now, somebody might say they were just 6 people. You ever lost a loved one? Mm-hmm. A mother, a son, a daughter? Get quiet.
Ouch. Yeah.
Those 6 people mattered to somebody. And this clown in his mobile situation room with 0 proof dropped Tomahawk missiles.
The king of fake news.
I mean, it's crazy, man. I mean, it goes on to say, and again, I don't want people to get me wrong, but we're talking about the region here, and so we have to listen to the voices of the region. And Iran's President Hassan Rouhani has said terrorists are celebrating U.S. strikes on a Syrian air base. Hell yeah, they are. They've already painted us as being the aggressor. They already painted us as being against Islam, right? the intrusion and invasion of the West. When we look at the map, Syria is right next to Iraq. What do we do there? Oh, we tore the country up. Remember shock and awe? I mean, Bush even named what he was going to do. Shock and awe.
Shock and awe.
I'm like, this dude is serious, right? Man, night after night, we saw bombs. And, we're going to get into those numbers, folks, on the death toll in the wars. Is war the answer? What else, DT, was the BBC reporting on?
All right. The U.S. provides arms, training, and military assistance to what it calls moderate Syrian rebel groups, and has led a coalition carrying out airstrikes against jihadist groups in Syria since 2014, which we just mentioned before the break. But this is the first time it has targeted government forces. Does it make a difference? Are the terrorists celebrating because the U.S. is helping them do the job?
Well, I mean, listen, if the Syrian army, quote unquote, again, I'm not on the ground, folks. I don't know this. But the narrative tells us that the Syrian forces are battling ISIS along with the Russians. And so we attack Syrian forces. So I would celebrate. I mean, if the bully coming up to me and DT come knock the bully out, I'm celebrating, right? I might just go kick him or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, really, when you think about it, yeah, I would celebrate because I don't even have to deal with you now. Do my dirty work for me so I can go ahead and move on. And what people don't understand, they say we need to remove Assad from power. Okay, yeah. You know how many dictators there are in the world? Okay. Let's talk about the genocide that's happening right now all throughout the continent of Africa. Okay. What about all those Africans that have been fleeing for their lives, right? What's the U.S. doing for that? See, you can't pick and choose who you're going to bomb and who you're not going to bomb, because this is not about any type of
the bomb don't solve the problem.
It don't solve the problem.
Like, man, boom. Okay, now we got more problems.
And it's not exactly, and it's not even done out of some type of love for humanity. Because if we had a truly love for humanity, and we've already said this on the show, we would let the Syrian refugees in, right? He won't let them in. He called them terrorists, right?
You know what you just said, and the way that it is often painted in words to describe the people we're opposing, it leaves us not to really care. Like you ask about the 6 people who died. Somebody may say, look, I don't have any Syrian family members or people related in that way to Syria, or whatever America paint them as a terrorist or whatever. And that kind of take the reality away from it being real people than just being this group or this name or title that, we've given them because there are problems there.
Yeah. I mean, the world is interconnected. See, the problem is that we don't seem to understand, I feel, human suffering. Humans, that if I lose someone and you lose someone, it's the same loss. It's the same pain. I don't care what color skin you are. I don't care what country you live in. I don't care what gender you are. It is called human suffering. And somehow we seem to think that life overseas, and okay, let me just get it real here. Sometimes we seem to think that life in the inner city is less, has less value, right? Okay. Michael Brown, okay, Trayvon. I mean, we can go on and on, right? Somehow that life has less value because it doesn't affect me. Now, if I'm not concerned about Philando Castile here in America, and I live in Minnesota, you think I'm concerned about somebody over in Syria? But we're all human, right? I mean, that's what connects us, man. We're all human, man. Sometimes we care more about, and I see here, I'm probably going to get some emails, some texts about this. Well, sometimes we care more about animals than we do about human beings. Just going to put it out there. And I love animals, love pets, have them myself, so don't trip.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Don't trip. So on Saturday, Russia called on the U.S. to provide evidence for the claim that there were chemical weapons at the site.
Already.
Okay.
Oh my!
Prove it now. and now, again, I know folks gonna, see, folks call me unpatriotic, man. I have to tell them every time. I served my country for 13 years, United States Navy. Okay, what have you done? Gave up 13 years of my life to support this country. So what I'm gonna say is, Russia's right. You should show proof. You just bombed the country. The least you can do is prove that it was at least what you said it was. And North Korea. What did North Korea say?
North Korea, meanwhile, called Friday's strike an unforgivable act of aggression, which showed its own decision to develop nuclear weapons was the right choice 1,000,000 times over.
See? Every action has a reaction. And if we're trying to make the world more peaceful and safe.
Where is that happening?
Oh, man. War will never lead us to that. This idea that war will bring in peace is foolishness. War only produces more chaos, more violence, and more loss of life and despair. Folks, I told you we're going to take a pause from this deep conversation. We got Tiffany Nicole in the studio.
Here to lighten the load.
Yeah, she goes, yeah. She's going to have to bring us up. But she's in the studio, folks. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right
back.
This is Josh K.
And I am Leah Marie.
And when we listen to podcasts, we always listen to
One Mic, One Voice. You can change the world, it's your choice.
Your choice.
Hey, this is your boy Frog. I'm here with Chris, Justin, and Philip, and we host Turn on the Game, the podcast. The show consists of 4 men commentating on the sports world. It's strictly opinion show. It's as if you were sitting on the couch watching the game with your boys.
And you can follow us on Twitter at @TurnOnThe_game. You can hit us up on our Facebook page at @TurnOnTheGame. And you can even follow us on Instagram at @TurnOnTheGame.
Or you can listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher by searching Turn on the Game.
You can email us at turnonthegame4@gmail.com.
Turn on the Game is sponsored by Blackened Studios, Oklahoma City's premier podcasting studio. Turn on.
Welcome back, folks. I told you, I got you all hyped up and I got you all messed up because in the studio with us, I have grown to not only appreciate her as a person, but her artistic talent is adored by so many people. Tiffany Nicole is in the studio with us. Welcome to the One Mic, One Voice show.
Hi, everybody.
So, little background. Me and Tiffany were brought together by one of the Ralph Ellison Foundation's board members, Lisa Foster. And we needed to have some artwork done to expand Ellison's legacy, right? To popularize Ellison. And this kind of came from a couple of years ago. I was walking around. For those that you don't know, I'm the executive director, founder of the Ralph Ellison Foundation. And I was walking through schools, and I noticed it was during Black History Month. I saw Dr. King. I saw Rosa Parks. I saw all the usual suspects, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is in Oklahoma, right? And I didn't see Ralph Ellison. And I thought there's a problem with that, right? Where in his own hometown where he was born, we are not acknowledging his greatness. And so I came up with this idea to create posters for Black History Month, and we just couldn't get it done. And then Tiffany came along, and we commissioned her to do these posters. And I'm here to tell you folks, I think they've been on the internet. You need to take a look. Are they up on your page, or are they?
Yes, they're on my art page as well as Twitter. They're everywhere.
And you can buy one too. So I'm just going to say that. And when you see them, you're going to want to. But let's talk a little bit about, first of all, who is Tiffany Nicole?
Well, I'm a Okie. I'm from Oklahoma City. Military brat, so I've been all over the place. I've always been in art since I was 3 years old. I saw my mother drawing Madonna. But the Madonna is like the Mother Mary and Baby Jesus. But her version was a black woman with an afro, with a black baby. And so that's my youngest, fondest memory of my mother Bonnie. And from there, it's just something I've always done. She nurtured my my craft throughout my school years, and I knew early on that I wanted to be an artist. If I can paint, take pictures, write poetry all day long, and live off of that, I would do that. So that's where my passion is. Now, I try to use art as a way to express a lot of issues that's going on in the world. And so that's just how I communicate. That's just how I express myself. And that's where art is where I turn to. All forms, art, music, poetry, writing, dance.
Do you play any instruments?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I did earlier in life. I did try piano, but yeah.
Okay.
But I don't play any instruments, but I do enjoy music and all that.
It's never too late to.
It's never too late. If I can get somebody who's patient enough to work with me, yeah, I'll pick up.
We have technology now. You can just get on YouTube and teach yourself.
Oh,
just Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Yeah, I guess I could do that. Yeah.
So when you were approached about the posters, take us through that process of that creative process in which you produce such a phenomenal work.
Well, I was approached by a couple of people. One, Rita Talley, she kind of left me a message, but I never got back to her. It was Lisa Foster that really kept calling me. And I'm like, okay. So Lisa said, what is this opportunity for you to do these posters? I'm like, okay. So she mentioned Ralph Ellison. I'm like, well, I know very little about Ralph Ellison. I know that there was the library on the MLK in 23rd. So as an artist, I had to do my research. Once I delved into who Ralph Ellison was, I was like, oh my gosh, this man is an Oklahoma native, and I didn't know anything about him. And I was just astonished. And then we have this guy from Milwaukee, Michael Owens, who got this foundation about this guy, an outsider, working in the inside, talking about Ralph Ellison, and I don't know anything about this man. So I had to do some kind of justice of really researching who my Ralph Ellison was, and then try to create visually what he meant to me as an artist, and create that for others to see what I see when I did my research. And so I saw him as a legend, and I kept playing on all my sketches of Ralph Ellison as a legend. I couldn't just do one sketch. I had so many going on, so I had narrowed it down to 4. And so when I brought my ideas to the foundation, I gave them options. I like to give options. So I had these 4 designs that, they liked all of them.
We wanted all of them.
So they liked all of them, but the main one was the one with the overlay of the flag over his image, and it said Ralph Ellison, Oklahoma, American legend. And that's the one that we see in the schools now, and hopefully be making T-shirts with and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. But that was my approach. He was an American legend that so many of us, especially as African Americans, we don't know enough about our history. Black history is American history. And so I focused on that. It's just not a month for us. It is 365 days, 24/7. And my creative process was bringing that out in the posters.
Well, I can tell you what, you showed out.
I did.
You showed out. I mean, you exceeded our expectations, and I love each and every one of them, and I think they're going to help really bring awareness to who Mr. Ellison was. And you attended the gala this past year, and you did a live painting at the gala.
Yeah. I am.
Were you nervous?
No, I pre-partied, so I was pretty good. I'm known for the live painting artist, so it's like awesome. A lot of it was like I didn't really come up with the idea until like earlier that day. So I made sure that I had something going on before I got there. So my paintings, especially if they're live paintings, tend to evolve from what I had in my head, and it turned out really good. I was really pleased with the result, and
I'm gonna interject something here, because you do know that the chair of my board, Senator David Holt, is running for mayor now. Right, he's running for mayor, right, and I'm pretty proud to have my chair running for mayor, right, to have a conversation with the mayor. But and I do think he will win. One mic, one voice. We don't endorse people, so we won't do that today. But Michael Eric Owens will. But let me say this: he bought. See, this is where I think there's some unethical things that went on that night. How he gonna buy your painting? And I couldn't bid on it. I'm saying, so how you
didn't even get a chance to?
I didn't even get a chance. And then he got the Thunder basketball too.
Oh wow!
I'm like, how you go? Wow. Like that don't seem to be. No, you can't bid on it. That's how is it unethical for me to go forward, but you the chair, right? But see, you the chair, you can pull. I guess you can pull rank like that.
He slid in like that and got that painting. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But that was so. Just briefly talk a little bit about your experience at the gala.
It was nothing like I ever experienced. I've been to some fancy shindigs, but this was pretty nice. This was really nice. It was almost like a dream. I felt like Cinderella. It was really nice. Wow. I had my girl Lisa with me, and she was making sure the wine was coming and the snacks were coming. I felt like a celebrity. I was doing my little painting. And
how was the VIP?
VIP was nice. It was nice. I was like, I could get used to the VIP. Right. I could get used to it. And it was a lot of photo ops and people stopping by talking, and then I did my little quick change and got ready for the real event. And the event with the dancing and the poetry was very moving, and it was just. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up next year.
Wow, how can you step up from that? That is amazing.
We're working on it now.
Wow,
trying to figure it out, but we're gonna step it up from next year. Now, see, Tiffany has done such a tremendous job, and I do mean that. I don't, and DT, no, I don't. If you're trifling, I say you're trifling. So trust me. I shoot from the hip.
So use another T word. Huh? Yeah, not tremendous.
And she has so many great ideas that I approached my board and had made a petition to have Tiffany come on as our artistic director. and it was unanimous in which they approved that position. And so I'm very excited. You announced it on Facebook. We're announcing here on the One Mic, One Voice that you're moving into this position, and just share some of your initial thoughts of what does that mean to you, and I guess what are your initial kind of plans as you become the steward of that position?
First and foremost, it is a true honor to be selected as the artistic director. I mean, I'm just beyond humbled and overwhelmed with so much thankfulness and joy that you picked me for one. I truly want to see this foundation grow into so much more than what it is. Artistically, we have a really nice art movement going on now, and for Ralph Ellison Foundation to be a part of that, his name to be out there like that, and to connect with the art community is very important to me as an artist, as well as I think would be great for the foundation. Seeing having poetry nights, reflecting on Ralph Ellison, seeing more camps where we're dealing with children and reading, as well as really expressing who this man really was, and more readings, just more everything. Marketing, where I minored in marketing in college, and to see about marketing a lot of things with Ralph Ellison. People know who this man was, especially in Oklahoma. It is important to me. So I'm really excited to take it to the next level.
Well, I can tell you I'm excited, and I know you're going to be working with Lisa Foster, our board member, and just really, really great, I think, tandem team to make some great things happen. And I will say this, and this was told to me by someone that that knew Mr. Ellison, and he had come through and he saw the foundation and the work that we were doing, and he said to me, he said, Michael, Mr. Ellison will be pleased with you. And that was just like, that just blew me. He knew him, right? And that just blew me away. And I will say, I know Mr. Ellison will be pleased with his posters. He would be ecstatic with the work that you have done.
I think it's interesting that she couldn't pick one, and that you decided to sketch 4 options. Had you had a chance to read The Invisible Man?
No, I hadn't had a chance. I read excerpts from online, but I need to get that book. I have a nice little library at home, so that needs to be part of my collection. Yes.
Well, he's such a dynamic person. Yes. I think if it's fitting that you couldn't choose one, because he's just so multi-dimensional.
Very much. There's a lot of levels to him. A lot of levels and layers.
Well, I'm gonna give you the same challenge, since you staff now.
Okay.
That I gave the board. So by our next board meeting, which is in June, you have to read Shadow and Act.
Shadow and Act.
Yes.
Okay.
And we will. We're going to have a discussion about that. Mr. Ellison. We're going to slide back into our topic here. Mr. Ellison said, "America is woven of many strands. I would recognize them and let it so remain. Our fate is to become one, and yet many. This is not prophecy, but description. To become one." That is our challenge. You know what? It is a pleasure to have you on One Mic, One Voice. You got to come back, right?
Of course.
Okay. You got to come back. You just can't come through one time and tease us like that.
Okay.
Yeah, come back and share some of the great stuff that you're doing, not only with the foundation, but I know you got a mural that's going to be going up in Oklahoma City.
We hope.
And backstory. But you're always welcome here, and we just appreciate you stopping by for a minute to say hi.
All right. I enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Folks, we'll be right back.
This is Elijah Bailey.
This is Richard Taplin.
From The Elijah Bailey Show, bringing you all the content that you could ever desire about anime, manga, comic books, martial arts, fitness, and more.
You can find us at Elijah Bailey Show on the official Facebook page, and also Elijah Bailey Show without the W on Twitter and Instagram.
Make sure to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and rate on iTunes and Podbean.
Welcome back. Man, great interview.
Oh, Tiffany's amazing. I mean, did a live painting, no pressure, no jitters, no nothing, just fantasticness.
I know, and I kept stopping by and watching the progress of the painting, but it was.
You know what was interesting though is that her perspective on the gala. You know, we've been doing it for a while. This is what my third one, I believe.
Yes. And
I mean, the shock value is still there, but you know, being able to hear, you know, kind of what other people feel and see, and when they going through that, I feel like I'm kind of like with you, and because I know it's really stressful and you got a lot to do in a short amount of time. You know, doing a lot of leg work. And so I'm like on your side, like, okay, once the gala's going on, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Everything's working the way Mike wanted to, you know. Yeah. But being able to hear her side of that story, man, just, you know, feeling like a celebrity and
I know.
Getting the royal treatment, that's dope, man, because I mean that's what the vibe is when you're there. Yeah. I mean it's a really classy event. You know, there are a lot of people there who are making difference in the community, and it's a real strong connection you make, you know, with the different types of people that are sitting in that room. And so, man, shout out to Tiffany.
No doubt.
And I hope we can give her even better treatment next year.
Absolutely, brother. And I think I'm gonna try to get that live painting too. I'm gonna have to look at the rules.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Robert
to do
rules or something.
I mean, if this guy become the mayor, you're gonna have a tougher fight. You know,
I know you can't go up against the mayor, right? You just kind of
so you might have to smooth him over now, you know, to try and work your way into that.
And you know, I might also interject as we go to this video here that. With Charlie Chapman, that really a message for humanity. You might have saw this, but the mayor right now, Mick Cornetti, sits on my advisory board, so that's like a double whammy, I guess. But folks, listen, check out this video. We're gonna have a conversation about it. Check out the audio. We'll be right back.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people, and so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Welcome back, folks. Wow.
Message to humanity.
Message to humanity. The actor, long gone, but his words rang true. I mean, I couldn't jot down everything, but fear of human progress. You are not machines. Only the unloved hate. That's deep right there.
Yeah. Man with machine minds and machine hearts.
But we're human, though. You know, when it becomes robotic, when there is no empathy or understanding in the actions in which one takes, you can drop bombs on people. And again, this is not just about 45. This is about the world we live in. This is about war is never the answer. We think too much and we need to feel. What about the universal brotherhood he speaks of? Sisterhood. Victims of a system. Just to follow orders, unjust orders. Orders that take human life. Folks, war does not have to happen. We don't have to kill each other. We don't have to. It is a deliberate act. War is deliberate. You just don't accidentally fall into war.
How could you?
I don't know. I mean, because there are launch codes, there are orders that come down the chain of command. There's position of the vessel. There is how the plane comes over a country. There is a GPS for hitting the target. None of that comes by accident. It is a deliberate choice. It is an order followed by loyal people to this country. But I don't think we understand the magnitude. We don't have to repeat history, DT. We don't have to.
It's the them versus us type mentality.
We can change the trajectory of history and write a new chapter where war doesn't exist, where the killing of innocent lives do not exist. But it's got to be a decision on our part. Get this.
Where has war gotten us over our history?
Well, let's look at the Revolutionary War. 217,000 people died.
Civil War, 620,000 lives lost.
Mexican-American War, 25,000 people died.
The Philippine-American War lasted 3 years, 200,000 people.
World War I, 38 million.
World War II, 60 million.
Vietnam, not until 1995 did Vietnam release its official estimate of war dead. As many as 2 million civilians on both sides and some 1.2 million North Vietnamese and Viet Cong fighters. The U.S. military has estimated that between 200,000 and 250 South Vietnamese soldiers died in war.
The Iraq War, the Iraq body count projected at 112,667, 123,284 civilian deaths from violence, 174,000 civilian and combatant deaths.
Afghanistan and Iraq. 4,486 U.S. soldiers died in Iraq, and 2,345 U.S. soldiers died in Afghanistan. 1 million U.S. soldiers wounded in both wars, and a potential cost up to $6 trillion.
I think even amongst the life loss, we don't consider the money spent, and we talk about being in trillions of dollars in debt. Where do we spend that money? Look, we got $6 trillion in war.
In war
alone.
In killing.
That's uniforms. That's arms. That's personnel. That's all that stuff costs money.
All that is to ensure that we dominate, control by any means our adversary.
And it's funny because America now is built up alliances, but the lines of the relationship are blurred because we kind of do things opposite. It's kind of like going to a party with a bunch of your friends and then all your friends jump you at the party. It's like, dude, we came here together. I thought we was boys. Right. It's like, man, and so the United States have kind of created that relationship with a lot of people. Where, we seem as friends on one end, but, we may jump you at the party.
Yeah. Exactly. Saddam Hussein, right? Shook your hand, good buddy, Rumsfeld, picture taken, photo op. Oh, by the way, we're probably gonna kill you. Okay, just letting you know, Let's look at 45 on Syria. 45 says this. This is before he became president. What will we get from bombing Syria besides more death in a possible long-term conflict? Obama needs congressional approval. Okay, that's one tweet. Okay, that was in we want to say
2013.
August. Yeah, 2013. What else does he say, DT?
Now that Obama's poll numbers are in tailspin, which for him to launch a strike in Libya or Iran, he is desperate.
Desperate. Okay, his poll numbers are at 36%. So his poll numbers are pretty low right now. But I
tried to read that in 45's voice, but I couldn't lower myself to do so. I'm sorry.
But the thing is, DT, this individual criticized the previous administration for trying to get involved in Syria as being foolish. That's the exact words. He said it was foolish.
Desperate.
But he bombed. He bombed the government. He didn't bomb ISIS. He bombed the Syrian forces. Okay. But really, DT, why has peace? Why do we never hear about peace?
Peace is never happening. Peace by definition is a good template for an understanding of what it could be, but practicality is not even it's not even possible.
But let's look at this. Definition of peace is freedom from disturbance, quiet, tranquility, freedom from or the sensation of war or violence.
Okay, so Mike, let me ask you. Freedom of disturbance. That's happening. People are being disturbed. Quiet. No, it's not quiet. It's tranquil. No. Maybe on 45's resort it is.
Yeah, it's real
nice.
Quiet.
You got the evergreens.
The whole nine.
Nice skyline. Man, palm trees. Man, it's beautiful. But for us, man, these things in peace are the opposite for us. They're happening all the time.
Well, and I agree with you, but my question then is to you and to our listeners is, do we not try to achieve peace?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I mean, it's the never-ending struggle, right? that we have to move toward peace.
And it's our greatest achievement too, because once you hear people talk about how they've been able to center themselves or find some peace in their life, that's like you pat them on the back, like, man, that must be a great feeling.
Need peace. Need peace. You've heard me say this before. The quickest way to get me out of your life is to bring drama, which is the opposite of peace. I want peace in my life. Okay. As on a micro level, on a macro level, I want to see peace in my day. And I will not give up on the idea that humankind, man, woman, boy, girl, that we can achieve peace if we truly want it, if our behavior and reflect. Man, why is peace not at the negotiating table, man?
I need to be like a campaign for
you got bombs. Project. You got bombs. You know what? If I was the president, I'd come to the table and say, look here. Okay. I can just bomb you. Really, I could. I could just right now. Matter of fact, I could just get on my phone and
they got an app for it now.
Yeah, I got an app. Boom. You done.
Choose your
but you know what?
Code.
I really don't want to bomb you. What I want to do is have peace. So how do we get to a position, a space of peace? Because you got the Trump card. I can bomb you at any time. I just give a little hand signal. If I get this to you, just bomb them or something. But what I'm saying,
tap somebody on the shoulder,
tap on the shoulder, bam, bomb them. But what I'm saying is that should be a last resort. Even if we come to that, we should start negotiating at a place of commonality, because we are all human. I don't care if we speak different languages, we look different, this, that, and the other thing. That doesn't matter, man. And that's what I don't understand. That's why we don't have leadership. That's why we don't have, if we had true leadership, that's where you start at. You start with, how can we get peace, man? I can punch you right now, but I really don't want to.
My hand will be hurting.
Yeah, I'm a black belt. I'm a triple black belt. My hands are registered in 50 states. You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt you right now, but I just want peace. You know what I mean? So why don't we? And that's what I don't understand, because peace is seen as being weak. If you talk about peace, you're weak. You see.
Charlie Chaplin said, "Don't give your life to brutes."
Yes, and that's what we see nowadays. That's what we see nowadays, folks. We winding down the show here, but I want to take a minute, DT, just to look at this map. And if you look at the map, if you are a Patreon customer, and we hope you will become our Patreon customer, patreon.com/OneMic1Voice. Go there, sign up. You get all. Did I say all?
All.
You get all the back scenes, after party.
Man, and Mike
when we're not in the studio.
Oh, my God. And the after party? You think you know Michael Owens now?
You will know him.
It's a different element. I'm telling you.
If we look at this map and we see where Syria is situated between Turkey, Iraq, Jordan, I mean, we can see that you got Georgia and Russia right there. You have Iran. You can understand. That's why I say Syria is explosive, right?
That's quite a word to use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a hotbed.
Mike,
right?
Real quick, could you give me a little information on the League of Nations? We talk about peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the League of Nations. The sole objective is to create peace between countries.
That's the old school.
It's old school.
That whole theory, the League of Nations. I mean, Woodrow Wilson, right? All that's been abandoned. No longer do nations come together.
So the United Nations was supposed to be the backup plan, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the United Nations was created by who? United States, right? I mean, so when you think about the attitude toward the United Nations is that they have no power. They can't enforce anything. We are sovereign nations. So the United Nations is only in the veto power of the major the major countries, United States, Russia, I believe it's China, Great Britain. It's 5 of them. You know, history's rusty, but it's 5 of them, and they have veto power, right? So any resolution that's brought up, if one of them veto, it's done.
Wow.
And so it's really hard to get things done through the United Nations, right? And so, but they are the governing body that that should keep, international relations on track. However,
peaceful.
But one thing, and I'm a student of international relations. One thing you will know: there's no morality in international relations. There's no morality. The conversation doesn't even come in. The conversation that we're having about the person that has lost a father or lost a son, or like the man that lost his 2 daughters in Syria, that conversation never comes in, okay? Because this is about dominance, okay? And when you are on the world stage and you're dealing with actors, which they call states, it's about maintaining the way of life for citizens. And believe it or not, you couldn't have a house, 2 cars. Let me back up. You couldn't have that 3,000 or 5,000 square foot house with cars if America wasn't going around the world doing what it's doing, because we're not sharing the wealth. Okay. So it calls on all of us. That's why I said, coming full circle, we're all responsible for the bombs that were dropped and the 6 people that lost their lives. Folks, there are people that don't even have running water. Okay. Africa is the richest as far as resources in the world, but people are starving and people are disease infested, right? But
exploitation.
They have exactly. They're being exploited by who? By the Western nations, also by China and others. China's taking oil by the barrel out of Sudan. But look what's going to happen in Sudan.
China's claimed territory in Africa.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. So, folks, we're going to say this in closing, and then we're going to go to the after party, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this explosive situation in Syria. We have bombed Syria. We found out today that the very airport, or we should say facility in which we bombed, they're already flying planes from it. They've already attacked, matter of fact, the same province in which we talked about in the show. So they're back up and running. So what does the U.S. do next? We're involved in the Civil War. We've stepped our foot in. It's just like anything domestic. Husband and wife fighting, you step in, you might get punished. I mean, don't get between 2 man and woman. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, don't stay out of it. But once you get in it, both of them might beat you up. So, folks, this is a pretty serious situation. One mic, one voice will keep you informed. But I would encourage you. Get out your map, see the geography, and understand. We have dark days ahead of us, not just domestically, but internationally. But I want to play this song by John Lennon, because this is our goal. This is our goal that we want to get to as a world.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, or brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
History will speak of us. Somewhere in the distant future, a scribe will reach down deep into the archives of our time. And what will she find? Will she discover that we overcame our differences? Will she find that out of many we became one? Or will she find that we solved nothing and remain a divided peoples? Yes, history
will speak of us.
One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice.
We can make a difference if we try. We can beat the change that's in our lives. All we gotta do is work together. We gotta raise our children better. We gotta stop the hate, and spread the love.
One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. One mic, one voice. You can change the world, it's your choice. Your choice.
Today's broadcast is being brought to you by Blacken Studios. To learn more about Blacken Studios, please visit them at blackenstudios.com or visit them on their Facebook page, Blacken Studios. Today's broadcast is also being brought to you by Perry Publishing and Broadcasting. To learn more about Perry Publishing and Broadcasting, please visit their website at perrypublishingandbroadcasting.net. The opinions of the One Mic, One Voice show do not reflect the views of Blacken Studios or Perry Publishing and Broadcasting. Thank you for downloading the One Mic, One Voice show.